Let me ask you something. Are you getting everything out of your rent-to-own business? If you're not an A-Pro member, then the answer is probably no. Look, advocacy is A-Pro's bread and butter. This is why they were created and what they do best. But here's the thing. A-Pro membership is about way more than advocacy. A-Pro connects you to the movers and the shakers of the industry, people who've been there, done that, and they can help you do it even better. A-Pro's monthly webinars give you expert insights and actionable takeaways. It's like having a masterclass for your business every single month. Got questions about complex regulations or sticky situations? No problem. A-Pro's legal hotline gives you direct access to experts who have got the answers. That's a peace of mind that you can't put a price on. And let's not forget the resources, news, updates, and tools that keep you ahead of the curve. Scholarships for your team? Check. Disaster relief when you need it most? Double check. A-Pro is your ultimate support system in the rent-to-own world. So stop settling for less. With A-Pro, members get more. More support, more connections, and more success. Head over to rtohq.org and join the A-Pro family today. Because in this business, more isn't just better. It's essential. See you at the top with A-Pro. Hello and welcome to the RTO Show. I'm your host, Pete Chow. Today we are technically outside meeting of the minds in the vast expanse of what's going on over here, and I was fortunate enough to run into Nav-Air. Now, these guys have a lot going on, especially with the show, so I'm so grateful that they had the opportunity to take just a few minutes to come out here and talk to me about what's going on. Listen, guys, I'm so glad that you're here. With everything that's going on in the rent-to-own space, we're definitely glad that you guys are where you are. So a little bit about Nav-Air up front. So I'm sitting with Johnny McCrae, and I'm sitting with Michael Price. Now, I have two of the top dogs here. I've got the CEO, and then, he's smiling over here. He doesn't even know it, but Mike's got the COO, CFO. So he's the chief operating officer and the chief financial officer, right? So in case anybody doesn't pay, you just make sure.
That is correct.
Right? That's awesome. So why don't you guys introduce yourself a little bit? We'll start with you, Johnny. How is everything going and what's going on with Nav-Air?
Well, I'll tell you, Pete, it's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you for reaching out. We've been really busy, but just to give you a little bit about myself, I spent about 2 decades in the U.S. military.
Wow. And thank you for your service.
It was a pleasure, actually. I went all over the world. Really enjoyed that. And then after that, I was a federal agent for quite a bit of years as well.
Wow.
So before I came over to rent-to-own. And outside of that, just working hard. We really love the industry, really love a lot of people in the industry, and I just wanted to help.
So I know that we're going to you, Mike, but you're a vet. Is everybody a vet? That's what I understood about Nav-Air, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much the whole company is veterans. Michael is only 18 years old.
Get out of here. You have an old soul.
So as the CEO, CFO, he's been doing this now for almost 10 years. He started.
You got a lot of shoes on, man. Wow. Yeah. Good for you.
But NAV stands for actually Navy. And from one of the original owners, James Willems, and then I'm the heir of Air Force for NAVAIR. Okay. Yes, but in the company, most of the folks are military, and we probably have over 200 years of military experience.
Wow. Yeah. Well, again, thanks to everybody. You have to somehow get in there, right?
Yeah. So
he's the dash. And Nav-Air.
He's in the dash. He's the coming soon, right?
Right. No, it's funny. Recently, we were talking about that, like, yeah, Mike is the dash, and it's like, wow, that's funny. But I did serve military members on 2 Air Force bases. One was MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa, and the other was in the Panhandle of Florida. Where
Herbert
Field. Yeah, mm-hmm. Herbert Field. So I did get a good opportunity to meet the service members, serve them. At the time, this was in a separate company. In a food service related business chain. So that was a great experience. Of course, I have family and friends that have served in the U.S. military. So we're always thankful and appreciative of what they've done for our country.
Absolutely.
And as for myself, in NAVAIR, my background is in business and entrepreneurship. So it's been, I'm not 18 anymore, but it's been some time. But it's been a great journey. And now, finding myself within the rent-to-own industry, meeting all the dealers and vendors. We have so many new friends, and as Johnny said, we're just happy to help.
So we're coming out of Meeting of the Minds. Okay. So we're out here. This is a collaboration of a lot of people who have done the rent to own business for a long time. The thing is, streaming hasn't been here as long as some of the other ones. So you guys are kind of like new on the block, and so to say. And it's been a couple years, but when did you guys break onto the RTO scene, and when did you really start servicing the RTO services with your streaming?
It's a good question. So in 2018 is really when we really started looking at streaming very hard. We had met some folks in the rent-to-own industry. And at that particular time, I know that Netflix and some other streaming platforms was coming out, and with that, you have companies that essentially with the internet, and with the internet, there's a lot of things you can do with what we call IPTV and OTT service, right? And so we started looking at streaming. It costs us a lot of money to get going, right? There's no doubt about it. But around 2019, after we had spent a lot of money to start a streaming platform, is when we entered the rent-to-own industry.
So there's a lot of money on the startup. You get through. You finally breaking into rent-to-own. Now, as you get in, right, and everybody's kind of curious about the streaming services, talk to me about that. So we have a different type of streaming service than we had in some others. This is a very solid platform, something that we can really rely on and bank on, especially with all these vendors and veterans and everything that's going on. We want to make sure, because one of the things about the rent-to-own scene is you don't want to fly by night, because I have to service people for 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, and when you come to me as somebody that really depends on my services, I have to be able to provide what I sold you on at the beginning of that agreement. Right. So if you come into me and we can't do the service business, that kind of hurts after a while. So you come in, we got a solid service business here that happens all the time. So on the IPTV, what are some of the advantages of that in this type of streaming service, and what can customers expect when they come to you and say, hey, Rent-A-Center, hey, Aaron's, hey, we got rent to own and everybody under the sun here. When we go into those businesses and I see this box here, what can I expect from that as a service?
Well, two things. And the first thing I want to say is it's really an interesting story. When we came into the rent-to-own industry, there was a company here before us called StreamSmart. And we came on after that had happened. And it seems like that was a little bit of a fiasco, a little bit. And
you're being so nice.
Yes,
the industry will call that something else, but you were so nice in that. I think everybody remembers StreamSmart to one degree or another.
And so we kind of got labeled of being like StreamSmart, and it's been an uphill battle. I won't lie. It's been a challenge every day to try to win the confidence of the good folks inside of the rent-to-own industry. They spend a lot of money. They're putting a lot of time into running their business, and obviously they need solid products. From our standpoint, because we was a small company, one of the funny part of the stories is when we came in, we had no idea the demand that would be needed of us. So when we first started out, we had supply chain issues. We could not keep up, and that was another challenge. And so we've been clawing up this hill, right, to try to get to a certain point. Now, that being said, when we started our company, one of the things that we did with our device is we went to the FCC. We sent our device in. We wanted to make sure that it get registered, right? And then we got an approved FCC identification number. That was really important to us. But that's still hard to say, hey, look, this is legitimate. IPTV is a service that I think everybody's going to see more and more and more. You got Sling TV, you got Tubi TV, you got Hulu, and the names just keep going. You can go out there, Crackle TV, and the list goes on and on and on, because back a long time ago, they had to build a building. You had to have satellites, right? And then that was basically a broadcast center, and that's how they gave you media, right? Live TV and video content.
Correct.
Today with the internet, you don't need that. Essentially, you can go to any internet provider and purchase a package of channels, and you can also purchase VOD services. It's going to cost you money, right? But that's what you have to do in order to get into the game. And it's a lot of money. And it keeps rising. That cost keeps rising. And there's a risk, as any business, you could start a service and you just don't have the subscribers, right? And so our business is subscriber based. And I think that's been a challenge as well in the rent-to-own industry, because if a person rent a device, do they now need to subscribe to a subscription? And you do.
Let's take a quick break.
Hey everyone, it's Pete Chow here from the RTO Show podcast, and I want to tell you about a company that's making a real difference in the rent-to-own space. Wow Brands. I've seen firsthand how they approach marketing. And let me tell you, it's not just about ads. Wow Brands builds complete digital ecosystems designed specifically for the rent-to-own industry. Their e-commerce and lead generation strategies are built to bring in qualified leads. And did I mention that they are actively working with the rent-to-own industry while also being members of APRO and TRIB? Listen, these folks are passionate problem solvers. They don't just slap something together. They design, build, and scale the kind of digital retail tools your business needs and your customers actually want. So if you're serious about growing, reach out to Wow Brands at wowbrands.com. I trust them, and I think you will too. Okay, so this is based on a monthly subscription, correct? Where rent-to-own is something that could be weekly, bi-weekly, monthly. This is a monthly, correct? So when somebody comes in and they open up this agreement with one of our vendors, and they say, let's say it's rent-to-own or whatever the case is, they come in, or Countryside Rentals, because I get confused every time I say rent-to-own, I'm talking about rent-to-own. Countryside Rentals, or they do it with American rental TVs and sales, and so they rent this. They go in through is it a QR code, or how do they find you guys once they want to start the service up?
Well, essentially for us, the process it's pretty easy actually. Once it goes out on rent, they go to a website and register, just like Netflix. Okay. Right? So you go to a Netflix account, you get Netflix, you have to register yourself as a user, and then you get a username and password, and you have an account, and you can go into that account and see what you do and your history and things of that nature. It's the same type of setup.
It's very similar.
Yeah, it's the same as Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, you name it. It's the same setup. You have to register, have an account. You put a card on file, obviously, and that's how the company gets paid.
Right.
And but in the rent-to-own industry, what's different is if someone is renting a device and essentially miss a payment with us, we don't turn the device off, whereas Netflix probably would because the renter's not paying. But in our case, we leave it on because our partners is rent-to-own companies or those that do a rent-to-rent model, right? So we work with the customer and we try to get our payments that way.
So is this where you shine, Mike? You come in, somebody already started, they registered, now they got the services, and this is where you come in. How hard was it to really get this ball rolling?
Extremely hard, but we work as a team. With everything, we plan it out and scope it out, I should say. All right, this is what we need to do. And from there, we work with the dealers hand in hand to make it happen. So as Johnny said, we come up with a good process. We work with the RTO dealers so they have a way to register their customers, depending on which side, whether it's rent to own or rent to rent in some cases. And then after that, we service the customers. We have a dedicated customer service team, and that's a big factor too, because that customer wants to know, if I have a question or if something goes wrong, who can I call? Who can I email? Who can I reach out to?
That's huge. That's huge.
And you said it first. It's a service-based business. So if you don't have those things, it's just not going to work.
So you got to tell me, what are some of the technical issues that you had to overcome that makes NAVAIR so solid now? Like in the beginning, it was like, oh my God, I didn't know we're going to get there. But now it's like, you know what, we conquered that hurdle. What is something that you've been able to do and say, you know what, I was able to help, me and my team were able to kind of get behind this and just kill it? Is it the distribution? Because I know Johnny said something, we didn't have any boxes at first, right? You guys wanted too many, and now we're putting some out there. And hopefully, and I say this with all sincerity, that when we're in meeting of the minds like this and we have these shows, we got to support each other, right? We support the guys that put our stuff out there, and they support us by buying the product that we offer and putting it on their shelves. And so when these guys need that help, is it you that they call, or is it the team? And then you might get escalated to Mike Price. When you get on there, it's is that the top dog?
So there's different layers to it. I'll say, as it relates to dealers, they call myself, they call Johnny. The ownership group, we're very hands on, and I think that really helped a lot in earning their trust over time. Just like in any industry, when you first come in, you don't know anyone. Right, you have to build those relationships, and we did, and I'm thankful for the shows, because there were times where, similar to a cold call, okay, someone is walking towards your booth, and you reach out your hand and introduce yourself. Sometimes someone could say, I don't want to talk to you right now. Other times they say, okay, I'll I'll give you a minute to introduce yourself. And I must say, in RTO, there's been several that has given us a few minutes of time, and then that has turned into a great relationship.
Well, it's grown. Well, listen, just like our customers, because they feel the same way. We would love to say, we're going to treat you like everybody else. You come in, you buy, you leave, but not a rent to own. When you come in, we're going to form that relationship for 18 months. We're going to form it for 2 years. You're going to see me all the time, right? You have a problem, I got to go fix it. I got to give you a loaner. I'm going to give you free delivery. You know what's going to happen? I've got to sit down with you and explain this rental agreement. You form this relationship, and the hardest thing is just breaking that first barrier, right? Like you said, you extend a hand and listen. All I can pray for is that you want to sit here just long enough to hear me tell you how great this product is. And these guys, the people, these owners, these operators do the same thing. And if you guys know it, you've been to these shows. It doesn't matter if you're at Meeting of the Minds in Atlanta or if you're in RTO World, wherever they put it, you're going to see a lot of the same faces. And when you create those bonds of, hey, I've got a solid product and you can lean behind this. And if you have a problem, you know my face. You know that when you see me down the hall, you can stop me and say, hey, this is something unique to whatever you have going on. How do we fix this? And we come together and figure that out. I love that about being around everybody who sells the product. When you're around your operators, because sometimes they'll tell you something that you didn't even know about. Because customers have ways of tinkering. And it's like, why would you do that? But you know what? Now that we know what that problem is, we can solve it together. Whether you need to put a wall up, whether we need to exploit that and say, hey, that was a great idea. Maybe we should go forward with that. But having NAVAIR here now, and you guys have finally got into it, what is down the line? What is coming? Because there's always something new around the horizon. I think all the classes that we've taken, they're always saying, yeah, you got to be careful because technology is on point. It's coming. So now NAVAIR is here. You guys are part of the family. What's down the road? What's coming up?
Well, I want to say two things. I want to back up for a second, and I'll let Mike speak to what's coming because we got some brand new products that we think is really, really great, and we think the folks love it. But I do want to say this to your point, Pete, is we've met. And I don't want to choke up here. We've met a lot of great folks in the rent-own industry, all right? And it's past that. Like from my standpoint, this is our family, right? And we have nothing but love for the folks we've met. As Mike says, we've had people. I can name them. I'm thinking about John Cleek now. I met John Cleek Sr., a Tiger. Just reached out his hand to me. Was one of the nicest person I met. Just right off the bat, the first time he saw me, he stopped and started talking to me. And I'll never forget that. I just, and like I said, I don't want to get choked up, but it meant a lot for a person coming from the outside to just see a friendly face, reach out his hand, and then just start talking to me and telling me some of the things I can do. Aaron Windsor, a father, was another guy.
God, you guys are talking about some titans in the business. You're not talking about anybody. You're talking about the guys in the business. Yeah.
He saw me, and same thing. And we started talking, and anytime he saw me, he came over and say, hey, Johnny, and just would talk to me. And, and I remember these folks, and it chokes me up. But, and I say that to say this, we are not going to do anybody wrong, all right, in the industry. There's a little joke I just met some new people today, and I said, I will give you my home address so that you'll know where I live, and you can come see me at any time, right? And we stand by our product. We stand by our service. If you buy anything from us, we have what we've always had in place, money-back guarantee, no risk. You cannot put it on rent. You call us back, we'll buy it back, all right? And we know that
what kind of guarantee is that? Wow, yeah. That's a guarantee.
And we've had folks about 10 years down the road. 10 months down the road, 12 months down the road, to call and say, "Hey, I've had streaming devices now for 12 months. My store's not doing a good job." We don't question it. We don't ask, "Is there anything we can do?" And if you want us to buy it back, we send a shipping label and we'll buy it back.
Well, here's another thing, too. And I've seen you do this, Mike, where you guys are get some people together and say, hey, let's have a class. Let me show you how this works. Let me walk you through the abilities of this box, the operations, the machinations
Absolutely.
of the setup, and how we get this done. And that is huge. That is really important because right now everybody wants to pull it out of the box and just use it. You know what I mean? And it's like, listen, guys, as much as I love for that to happen, you even have to set up your smartphone, okay? You at least got to put your name and your number number in it. So when you have the ability to go over there and train some of the people that are selling what you have on the shelves, it makes such a huge difference to the customers because they feel like if I ask this guy a question, he's going to listen. I'm going to give you an 800 number and you just, it's really good for them to understand the product as well. And I've seen you do that. Do you do that often? I mean, is that a regular thing at NAVAIR where Mike is hosting the Mike show on how to get this done?
Well, I don't do it all myself, but again, just going back to ownership, being hands-on, myself, James Willems, we have conducted a lot of trainings. So the first step is the dealers, right? The owners. We go through our program, and if they like it, we're saying, hey, we want to talk to the regionals. We want to talk to the managers because those are the ones that's in the stores. They're making the sales. We go out and train them. So that's in person. We also do virtual trainings as well. And we ensure that they have devices in their homes. Because if you have the product at home and you're using it on a regular basis, then you can speak to that product. So a customer walks in and it's not like you're reading off of a card, right? It's saying, oh, well, I think it does this. I think it does that. You're speaking from personal experience. So
listen, rental dealers, when you guys are listening to this, he's saying it's in your home first. This is an opportunity to get your hands on the product, see how it works, watch some good TV, throw your feet up on the recliner and learn how this happens. And I would tell you right now, a lot of people don't understand. When you start doing training classes, sometimes it's hard to see the payoff because it's not enough light bulbs gone. It's okay. Come back and do it again. And by the second or third time, man, they're pros and they're telling you something. Like, man, I forgot all about that. But as the consistency of the streaming, the consistency of the guys behind the scenes, the consistency of the training, that's what builds good companies, especially the guys here. Because like you said, this is generational. You're talking about guys who have been here for 20 and 30 years, and they've passed that torch to guys that aren't going anywhere. Their job, their function, their duty is to carry that torch for another 20 or 30 years. Those are the relationships that we have to make. Those are the people that are pushing the product, right? Those are the people who are really standing in front of the line and going, hey, try this Streambox. Try this streaming situation. NAVAIR is going to put their name behind it, which means that there's something that I believe in. So that's great, and I'm glad that you do that. So the next time that you do one, you let me know because
absolutely,
we're gonna put that on there. But talking about the new things that are coming up, because I know you said that you want to talk about that, Mike. We're going to put you on the spot. What's going on?
And please talk about employees. What we do for employees.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
You kind of took the words out of my mouth. So we talked about the owners, then the managers, but with the employees, after we have devices in their homes, we've trained them, that sort of thing. There's a number of dealers that have employee appreciation days. They have different things that they're doing just for their group. So it's not a bit show. It's just something specific to them. Well, we always want to know about it because we want to give back. There's times where we'll send product, we'll send funds, money, right, to help. we all need that, an extra bill or a gift for a relative. We do a number of things in that respect to always give back to the employees because we appreciate them. We wouldn't be here without them. It's not just a money grab or just to sell. We want them to know that we're here and supporting them always. So that's the first thing as far as the employees are concerned. But what's coming in the future? I mean, we're constantly making upgrades to our devices, whether it's a voice control remote or just additional technology in the devices. Mike,
you're going to let me be lazy and just talk to the remote now? Oh, man. Oh, man.
So
great feature.
Yeah, it's a great feature. Of course, you have the guide. You have different ways to stream. You can see multi-screens all at once. Let's say you want to watch multiple games at one time. So we have a number of things.
Wait. Sold. All right. When am I getting mine? No, I'm just kidding. But that is a feature. I mean, come on. Who doesn't want to see all their favorite games at one time? Dude, that's killer. That's amazing. That's great.
Yeah, there's a number of things we're working on, and we're always taking in feedback. Because, of course, we can say, oh, these are great features, and then someone comes and says, man, I saw this thing online or I saw it somewhere. It would be great if you had that. So we always take in that information and say, okay, let's go to the drawing board and see what we can do. Past streaming, another item is electric bikes. That's something that we've had and sold out and working on bringing more in. Another thing is smart projectors. So, everyone has a TV, but projectors are a trending item. and having different ways to watch, whether you want to project it to your ceiling or to your wall.
It's crazy because it is making
outside.
a comeback. If you walk down the halls of that show right now in the exhibit halls, you're going to see quite a few people have posted up their projectors on there. And 2 years ago, you probably wouldn't have seen that many. I saw a couple of trivia ones, maybe a little travel or something. Now I'm starting to see a lot more on there. You're right; it's making a comeback. I'd like to see what NAVAIR does with that.
No, it is making a comeback, and we're always keeping our ear to the ground because everyone is looking for that next microwave, right?
Right.
That's the golden question. Okay, what do you need? What's next? And we're staying flexible in that respect. For some time now, our main category has been consumer electronics, and we're going to continue down this road. And whatever ways, whatever new products can come in and bring value to all of the rental dealers is what we'll look at to bring in and bring that value to the stores.
Well, what I see is passion. If you run your business with a passion, you want to give to your customers, you want to make sure that there's a solid situation that can be here today, tomorrow, and the next day. You talk about the relationships that you're building with the owners and the customers. The fact that you're willing to back the product up by buying it back says a lot. The training courses that you're doing, looking forward to the future and getting feedback. Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, it sounds like there's a lot going on, and I like the sound of the future of Nav-Air. With everything that you guys have set up, when are we taking over the world?
Well,
we're taking over the world of streaming, at least, right? We're on that course.
I'd like to say this. So in our company every day, we have three principles essentially that we look at as core values that help guide us and shape the way we make decisions and how we work every day, right? And it's really important to us. So I want to talk about it for a second. The first thing is that first principle for us is integrity first, right? It's just, you treat people like you want to be treated.
Absolutely.
And I think that has helped us a lot. I know that goes back to, look, Peter, I'm not going to do you wrong. I'm not going to do this to you. I'm not going to hurt you. You can trust me. We're going to, right? You're trying to do something. I'm going to partner with you. I'm going to work with you. And it's really important that we do that. The second thing outside of integrity is one of the things we talked about is service before self, right? Because if I just take care of you, it'll take care of it. It'll take care of us, right? So I have to answer your needs first. It can't be I'm just trying to sell you something and it's good for me, right? But it's not good for you, right? So that's part of our thing as well. When we make decisions, right, is this good overall for the company? Is this good for our customers, right? And then the next thing is, and we don't get this right every day, right? It's excellence in everything we do, but the truth is every day is not an A day, right? You have A days, we have B days, we have C days, we have D days, we have F days, right? What we don't want is to have more F days than A days. So when we're not doing it right, we work hard to try to make it right. And that has to come from within that, you know what, I'm wrong. And I'm going to work on that, and I'm going to get better so that we can provide the best service that we can.
Well, it's not about failing. It's about failing, learning from it, and
correct.
making sure that you do everything you can to stop it from happening again. That's really what it's about. Because the truth is, everything that we do, come on. I wish I could say I got it all right all the time.
You know, there's an old saying, wisdom born of pain. And where it comes from is wisdom comes from what? Pain. Wisdom comes from failure, right? You don't get wisdom by just having it. It comes from you learn.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the idea that you want to stand behind your business, you have the passion to make it happen, you have the knowledge and somebody who can make it happen. Mike, I'm just saying, good job. Mm-hmm. So we have this service. You can check them out at NAVAIR. Where's a place? If somebody's listening to this podcast right now, where's somewhere that they can go to find you guys? And what's the information that you can give them to reach out?
They can go to our website, NAVAIRcorp.com. That's NAVAIRcorp.com.
Okay. And when they go there, what are they going to find? What am I going to come up? When I pull up that landing page, what am I going to see?
You're going to see the latest products that we have.
Okay.
And if they're interested, have any questions, we have a form that they can fill out. You submit that and it'll come to us and we'll reach out to you momentarily.
Awesome. That's awesome. Now, if I'm interested, let's say that I'm one of these new guys and I'm interested in actually selling these stream boxes, do I follow that same lead?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so if I wanted to do that, not only as a customer out there in the world, but if I wanted to just get behind this stream thing with you guys, I would fill out that form on NAVAIRcorp.com, and then you guys would reach out to me, and when we would talk brass tacks on how to make that happen.
That's pretty much
that's correct. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, guys, I love having you on here. I'm gonna let you guys get back to lunch, but we appreciate having NAVAIR out here on the RTO Show podcast. Believe me, we talk everything rent to own, and I'm so glad that you guys had been able to take out some time on a very busy day that I saw to come out here. Listen, guys, we appreciate you listening. If you want more, you are welcome to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. And I will tell you guys, as always, from Johnny McCrae, Mike Price, and myself, get your collections low to keep your sales high. Have a great one.